You're now tuned into Thorough Black Talk with Tad, Keisha, and Ashe. Every Thursday, 8 to 10 p.m. Don't forget about our sister station, Constructive Talk Radio, Tuesdays, 8 to 10 p.m.
Good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Thorough Black Talk with your sister Keisha, your brother Tad, and your brother Ashe SJ. Brother Tad is on assignment, and brother Ashe will be joining us shortly. A BB Fahodie, everybody. Just trying to get myself together. I had a very, very busy day, and I hope that everything is going well with you all. We got a lot to discuss tonight. A lot's happening in the news. We got some historical points to bring out because, of course, it is Women's History Month, Black Women's History Month, and that's how we going to celebrate it, how we do it. So, I can't wait to get in this conversation with you all. Tonight, actually, we're going to discuss so many topics, but I'm going to give you all a chance to chime in and give your perspective or your observations on some of the things that we're discussing, because we want to have the voice of the people. So if you want to give a comment live on air, you just raise your hand in the chat and we'll send you the link. And of course, your cameras will be off, but your mics will be active so you can come in and join us in the conversation. What's up, Sister Marie? All the best to you. I see you on internet. I see you on Facebook. You got your cousins, your godchildren. That's what I'm talking about. Because right now, in this critical time, we definitely got to have our hands on our family more now than ever before, because a lot of things are happening with the family dynamic. There is legislation that is being passed that is the antithesis of what our culture is. And it's a unique culture. We shouldn't be forced to stifle it just to be in good favor with some people. So tonight also, we got to talk about that. We're going to talk about, our great sheroes. This is Black Women's History Month. I got Mach 2. I got two, Brother Ashe. I got Afeni Shakur and I got Queen Mother Moore. Well, I got three. I got Ida B. Wells. Y'all can't see, but she's on the wall behind me. I got her on the right side and a collage of Malcolm on the left side. I hope you all got a chance to listen to that new book or read the new book on Brother Malcolm X. But we're going to get into all of that. My brother Ashe SJ, how are you doing tonight?
Yeah. Man, I'm feeling great, sis. We back in the building. Tell a friend and tell a friend. This is Thorough Black Talk. Yo, I'm really excited, man. With the propaganda that's going on, a lot of people talk about women's history and things of that nature. It's important that we always stay centered and honor the ones that really matter to us. I don't know about y'all, but I came out of a Black woman. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times the propaganda with this Women History Month, we start to see it and it looks like feminism, white feminism, Black feminism now they got. So they try to push that forward when it comes to Women History Month. So you're going to see that all over the TV, all over the advertisements and things of that nature. But up here on Thorough Black Talk, we always honor the warrior queens, the elders and ancestors that put in real work for us. And we love our women. We love our queens, our queen mothers. And, we all have daughters, children, little cousins and, nieces and things of that nature. We definitely have to make sure that we are teaching them and educating them on the powerful warrior queens. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we're going to give it to y'all up here tonight. With so many of them, Keisha, you named a few, but I know we could go on for days and days just talking about the sisters that put in work. And a lot of them don't even have the recognition that they should have. A lot of them did a lot of work and didn't get credit for it. Or maybe somebody else took credit for it. Especially back in the days in slavery time, like we couldn't get credit for anything that we did. So we know our women are the ultimate nurturer, creative and in a way protective as well. Very protective. A lot of us, I know myself, I grew up in a single family household. You know what I'm saying? So at times I had my big sister, I had fights with my big sister. You know what I'm saying? So, like I learned the street level hand to hand, I learned that on the street. But the wrestling and all of that, I probably got that from my sister for real, because she done tore me up a couple times. You know what I'm saying? She big, she older than me too. So, but that was the warrior spirit right there, man. So it ain't no level of lack. We always in abundance. And, every time I think about the women in my life that have been powerful and instrumental to my development, like, it's really a gift, man. I don't like to use the word blessing. If you look up the etymology of that word, the blessing, that means like when when you covered in blood, that's what bless means. If you look up the etymology of that. So I don't like to use that word, but it's really a gift, to have these queens in our lives, man. And ain't nothing like a black woman. So if there's some brothers listening on the line right now, y'all shared it to some friends that you ain't sure about, and they ain't sure about the black woman, I'm telling you, fam, you're going to learn tonight. You're going to get a lesson tonight, because we got a lot to discuss. But, I know we're going to get right into it, Sister Keisha. Our brother Tad is not in tonight, so we're going to hold it down for him as usual. That brother stay busy, very hard worker. Shout out to him and the whole Better Days Ahead fitness program and things of that nature. But, I know Sister Keisha, a lot of powerful sisters. In fact, you are in a very powerful group called SWAP, which stands for Sisters with a Purpose. You know what I'm saying? So if anything, Women's History Month, I don't want to see y'all talking about Hillary Clinton and what's the other one? The black-white one, white-black, whatever you want to call it. The new one. I forgot her damn name because she's not even important to me. The vice president, Kamala Harris. I don't want to, because you know what's funny? Sister Keisha, as we, right here for the listening audience that's not in New York or not in Brooklyn, I'm sure y'all have your own local television station, but out here we got News 12 Brooklyn. And I was watching News 12 Brooklyn, and for Women's History Month, what they doing now is like every time they go to commercial break, they'll show like a piece of information or a history fact on women's history. So what they do is before they show the fact, they show this collage of women. They got Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama. That's the only two black people. And then it's all other white women and stuff, right? And like I said, Kamala Harris, I use the term black loosely. But anyway, they show them images, and in the collage, actually the first history fact that they shared on News 12 Brooklyn was about Margaret Sanger. And they talked about how Margaret Sanger did so much great work, and of course she created Planned Parenthood. But I don't know if a lot of y'all knew, but the first Planned Parenthood location is right here in Brownsville, Brooklyn. Did you guys know that?
Yes.
Brownsville, yes. Brooklyn. That's the first location that Margaret Sanger ever created it. And if y'all don't know, if y'all not from New York, Brownsville, that's one of the least gentrified areas that black people got left. That's a super black community.
It is now, I say, but at that time, it was predominantly white at that time. Now, I know that to be so because when my great-grandmother moved up from Georgia here to New York, she was one of the few black families to live in Brownsville at that time. So yeah, it was predominantly white at that time. But go ahead, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, brother.
Her double, she knew what was happening. She knew gentrification was coming in. She said, let me get my feet in the ground first and do it right where I'm at, start it right where I'm at, because times is changing. During them times, people was moving out, what they call it, white flight, right? That was going on. So white people, like, we live in Brooklyn, we live in New York, we go on Long Island, we go to all of the outer towns and things of that nature where you could get bigger houses and live the suburban lifestyle. They started leaving the city, white flight. So she did that right in Brownsville, Brooklyn. So nobody can tell me that ain't no goddamn coincidence, because Brownsville, Brooklyn is one of the least gentrified. Black people still trying to hold on and not get gentrified by all of these devils out here, man. So, it's crazy. And shout out to our brother Q Butter, man, because he has a good video where he was out there talking to sisters and brothers in the street and telling them, why you shouldn't support Planned Parenthood. And the brother, he's real passionate, he's passionate about it. But at the same time, the brother was like, he did it from the heart. He really trying to educate our people, because a lot of people don't know the history behind Planned Parenthood and Margaret Sanger, and her being wanting to basically kill off Black people before we was even created. And it's ridiculous, man. So these are the things that the propaganda that they try to spread when they talk about Women's History Month. So just keep your eye out. It's going to be a lot of feminism being pushed your way. And we know that the feminists, when they bonded with the Black Power movement, that's how they watered it down and infiltrated it. And that's similar to exactly what's going on right now with all of these damn movies that's coming out too. Like Judas and the Black Messiah, all of these things. Like, yeah, I had a little conversation with some people online, because I started getting back online a little bit. And I hear people's sides. I hear both sides to the coin. So, I'm all about balance. But at the same time, it's like, we got to make sure that we are knowing exactly what these people are doing, because it's subliminal these days. They'll give you something, make it seem like it's good. We got a movie about Fred Hampton, right? But wait, hold on. If you look at the movie, even look at the title, Fred Hampton name ain't in the damn title. In fact, his character is not even the first in the title. The title is the Judas is the goddamn first name in the title is the Judas and the Black Messiah. Don't get it. Am I mistaken, or was it like when they had, like if I was to create a rock band, it would be Ashe, the rock band, like Ashe and the Supremes or something like that. I don't know, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Ashe and the Thorough Black Talk or something. But that comes second. Ashe come first. The main character come first. So when you look at Judas and the Black Messiah, they highlighting the infiltration. And this is what I'm trying to tell people that's excited about this Marcus Garvey movie. Of course, we are excited to get our story of our great warrior ancestor, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. We want his story to be out there. But at the same time, the name of this upcoming movie is called Marked Man. So that should tell you right there, the whole goddamn plot is based around the infiltration of Marcus Garvey. It's not going to show and highlight all of the amazing things that he did and all of the things that he wanted to do before it got stifled and things of that nature. The movie's Marked Man. So they're going to have the undercover agent who's going to be one of the supporting or lead characters in the movie besides Marcus Garvey. And they're going to follow him around, how he became an agent, just like Judas and the Black Messiah. It's the same goddamn thing, family. So listen, just keep your head on a swivel, like Keisha said, man. Because, the subliminals out here, Women's History Month, even with Black History Month, they put the Black people in front of you that they want you to see. So it's subliminal. But that's our job up here as the independent Black media, to always hold y'all down. This is your brother talking. Sister is holding you down as your big sister. I mean, I said keep sister. Keisha's holding you down as your big sister. My brother Tad, we always here. And this is a cipher, so y'all could definitely add into it, and make us, teach us something we didn't know before as well. But this is a cipher, and I'm just really excited to get this started tonight, Sister Keisha. So I know you got some sisters that you want to talk about Women's History Month, and I know it's a lot of other things going on too in current events right now. So if we have some time, we'll discuss some of those things. I know you wanted to talk about Cuomo, and he's
right. But you know what? I want to go back to something that you said about these films. It is to highlight the Judas. That's why it's called Judas and the Black Messiah. Now, you have to ask yourself, because what's the name of the movie with Garvey? Would you say Marked Man?
Marked Man.
So you have to ask yourself, why are we seeing these type of films so much? Either it's these type of films, or it's a slave movie, or there's a movie where there's an uprising taking place, and there is a Caucasian who comes in and saves the day. You have to ask yourself, what is the hidden hand behind all of these films? Is that a signal to Black people who may want to organize and do some things differently, that you better be careful, because we always watching you. We may always have an informant. We may always have a plant. I don't know. These are just questions that I have, and it, makes me think, and I'm sure those you who are viewing feel the same way. What are they actually trying to tell us here about these movies? Because when you look at it, take a film like that you said is coming out, Mark Man. Now, if it's about someone who betrayed the UNIA, Garvey, and the movement, um, let's look at it from the perspective of if we have a Black organization that wants to do something different again, and you organize yourself, your people, the people in the street, let's say around voting. Let's just choose voting, if you will. This is a scare tactic to keep people from not organizing. Nobody wants to go to jail. Nobody wants to go to prison. Nobody wants the feds to pull them over. And it negates, these type of films negate who the real corporate is. Nobody ever goes to prison, for the murder of Mark Clark and Hampton. Nobody goes to prison. Nobody goes to prison for forcefully incarcerating or murdering Black men, women, and children. Who's going to prison for that? What are the consequences to those people and government entities that allow this to take place? Where are the organizations that stand up against this and say, you know what? This ain't who we are. This is not our culture. We're not a bunch of rats. You know what I'm saying? It just boggles the mind that we don't ask ourselves these pointed questions. Why are these films being chosen now in this particular time? Could it be because the FBI and others see the handwriting on the wall? I believe that there was amped up security in the state's capital today because they believed that there was going to be another rain on the Capitol because some people who believe that Donald Trump should still be president. All of these kind of shenanigans. The FBI also released, Brother Ashe, that the biggest threat within the United States are homegrown terrorists right here. And so if they know that, and they know that these white supremacist groups, if you will, members have joined the ranks of law enforcement and the military, how come nobody going to prison for this?
Mm-hmm.
What are they telling us? If no one is going to prison, what are they telling us as Black people we should do? We should all have these questions right now as they try to peddle this vaccine and everything else to you. That's just my thought on these films. Y'all keep your third eye open. I was watching a film last night. I'm going to pass the mic to you, Brother Ashe. But I was watching a film last night. I believe it's called The Sweet Smell of Success. I think it was made in 1957. In a particular scene, and it's about a bunch of thugs. But anyway, in this particular scene, I hear the white man going up the stairs say to another white man, "Get your hands out of my pocket. Get your hands out of my pocket." And he turned around to the guy and he says, "Drop dead," or what have you. But it made me wonder, why is that narrative always played over and over when we talk about our dear brother Malcolm? I just have these questions. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't mean to step on my soapbox, but that's where I'm at with it. I don't know what's happening here, but I'm very skeptical as to why these type of films are being shown right now.
Yeah, and so first of all, on a fundamental level, one of the main reasons, right, that these films is being created and put out before our people right now is because they know people want to see it. It's simple. They know people want to see it. So they putting it out. Don't forget, this is business, family. The Hollywood and all that, they make millions and millions and if not billions of damn dollars. So this is business. This is what they're looking at it. When you go into a movie, or if you have a movie right now, first of all, it has to have a budget. You have to get funding. That's why so many great movies and so many great books out there haven't turned into movies yet, because the producers Some of them don't want to take risk on some of these things unless they know that it's going to get a certain return in the box office for them to even put their funds into it to make it into a real movie. So whenever you're looking at a movie that's coming out, you always want to see who produced the movie, not the director, because the director is an employee. As far as I'm concerned, so many damn skits from movies get cut out of movies and things of that nature that directors, if you go watch interviews, the director will tell you, man, I was so mad we had to cut that out, but we had to. The producers is calling the shots because they got to fit a certain time slot or whatever the case is. It has to be a certain way to be marketable so they can make their money back. That's what this is for. They're not making these movies about Garvey, about for the kindness of their heart. And we already know back in slavery times, you couldn't even read a book. If you got caught reading a goddamn book, you might get 100 lashings, or even if you lucky, you get 100 lashings. You might get murdered for reading a goddamn book. So you think these producers, these big money Hasidics, or like I say, Hasidics, you think these Hasidic Jews is going to put their money into something that's going to empower you, black woman, black man? That's not how this thing works. They putting their money in for the money, to get money back, to get a return on their investment, ROI. So that's the number one reason they putting these movies out, because they know people is going to sit there and be like, oh, I want to go run to the box office to see Marcus Garvey. But then another reason they're making these movies is because they want to beat the real revolutionaries to the chase. They want to beat you before you make the real movie and put what's necessary in a movie to stir up the minds of the young black new generation.
That's what they did with the spook who sat by the door.
Exactly. They want to beat us to it. They don't want the real people telling the story, because if they wanted the real people to tell a story, how come when they made these movies about Fred Hampton and all of these people, how come they didn't go sit down and get advice and things of that nature from our great elders and ancestors and things of that nature? People that walked and put in work with these people. How come they didn't go and get approval for the damn scripts and the stories? Because a lot of the parts in Judas and the Black Messiah, that was exaggerated. They do that all the time, twist things up just to make it more, more exciting, so people can like it and it's good as a movie.
But you have to remember now, the movie is about the Judas.
Yep.
It is about the Judas. See what I'm saying? So they have to push that narrative. I know that, shout out to Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., he oversaw some of the things that took place, because it is about the Judas, the betrayal.
Yep.
And so now in this political climate, the way that things stand in this country, now you got any and everybody talking about their rights are being violated. Everybody is stepping on the neck of black suffering and climbing for the top. And so they know that there is a percentage of European Americans, white Americans, who side with a Republican line and a liberal line, or progressive line, if you will. They want to remain in power. And so why not? Why not put in the minds of black people, especially young black people, not old black people, young black people, that you could be infiltrated. We can turn one or some of you. Who wants to go to prison? Nobody. And not too many people they know have clean hands. Mm-hmm. They can flip you. You understand? I think this is scare tactics. This is scare tactics. That's just my perspective on it.
Film is propaganda. It's always propaganda, family. So we just got to always keep that in mind. Even Malcolm X, even Roots. A lot of us love our roots, right? But I had a personal conversation with Baba Leonard Jeffries and James Smalls, and they'll tell you Alex Haley. I can't even put it. I'm trying to put it in nice words, the way the elders told me.
Tell the truth.
The way they don't rock with no Alex Haley. Alex Haley got some dirty tactics. switching up the script and the story and things of that nature. You think Roots is 100% accurate? Hell no. You think Malcolm X with Spike Lee is 100% accurate? Keisha just told you about a book that she's reading right now that tells you way more about Malcolm X's life than that Malcolm X movie Spike Lee made. And that movie is what, 3 hours long?
Yeah.
With propaganda too? You know what I'm saying? So that movie ain't 100% accurate. And look at Spike Lee. Look what he doing, running around. He can't make a movie nowadays without putting a credit scene at the end with some white person in there and him dancing around, you know, making them feel comfortable. He can't make a movie without doing something to make them feel comfortable. And a lot of y'all running around champion Spike Lee. I'm from Brooklyn and I don't champion his ass because I know what he about. I done been down to Fulton Street in Fort Greene where his studios is 40 acres and a mule. You go out there. When he has his Prince concert, every year he does a Prince concert for the reunion of their death.
Yeah.
People that's out there. It's black people, but look who else is out there.
Mm-hmm.
Look what kind of circus act that he got, because he be performing.
Mm-hmm.
Performing, I'm telling you. So listen, family, this stuff is propaganda. If you look at the movie they put out, Birth of a Nation, and I ain't talking about the Nat Turner one. I'm talking about the original Birth of a Nation.
Mm-hmm.
That tells you right there.
D.W. Griffith.
That films are propaganda. And they know the power of films. It's just like music. Just like when they curved NWA and all of that, when they curved Public Enemy from talking all of that black talk. Now you see in modern times, you see what happened to Nick Cannon. They know how powerful media, music, and arts is. It can literally change the world. It could spark the mind of somebody that's gonna go out and change the world. That's what Tupac said he always wanted to do. So listen, family, just keep your head on the swivel. It's entertainment. Go enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, just know that for me personally, if it wasn't somebody like a director or a producer that sat down with a Leonard Jeffries or Professor James Moore, at least behind the scenes, they don't even got to get credit, but they got to make sure you got the story straight. That's all I ask. Make sure it's accurate. You know, because a lot of the things in these movies they putting out is not accurate. And then if it is, they just going to highlight the negative. They're not going to show us so much positive that the positive is all the way up here. It's this much, a little bit of negative, but that's what the whole movie is about, because that is the part that is going to make people excited and want to see it, because they know black folks love drama. But ain't we tired of seeing us getting arrested? Because that's what Mark Man is going to be about. Getting arrested, getting deported. I'm telling y'all, it's called Mark Man. Judas and the Black Messiah, they called it the Messiah, right? We know because, you know, that's what they called it. They were trying to stop the rise of a black Messiah, and we know that. But at the same time, if you talk about a Messiah, Jesus died. So from the jump, you know that ain't going to be no damn happy ending. You know what I'm saying? You already know that from the title of the movie that they ain't highlighting nothing positive about Fred Hampton. I mean, we had to weed and dig through it to be like, okay, but at the end of the movie, you feel horrible when you see that sister's face. Oh, and I'm glad we're still talking about this, because I forgot to bring this up last week. Media again, here we go. Now we talking about music. Did y'all realize, I shared it on my page, did y'all realize that the queen of Fred Hampton in that movie, Judas of the Black Messiah, you know, the cute little chubby girl with the cheeks, black sister with the afro, beautiful sister. Did you know that queen, that sister, the same actress, is the actress that played Jay-Z's? So this is what I'm talking about, family. They always trying to tie the LGBTQ. They always trying to tie the rainbow crew together with Black Power. They always trying to do it. It's subliminal, family. So now they got you in here loving, oh, this sister, she Black Power. Beautiful brown sister with the afro.
She said, repeat that again. Sister Marie said.
I shared it on my Facebook. We're going to share it again. The sister that is the actress that played the woman that fell in love and ended up marrying Fred Hampton. in Judas and the Black Messiah, it's Fred Hampton and his wife, right? And she got pregnant. That sister that played Fred Hampton's wife, she also played in a music video. And it's called Smile. The music video, Jay-Z's music video is called Smile. If you look it up on YouTube, you'll see the same sister in an afro playing a lesbian. Because Jay-Z's mother is a lesbian, if you didn't know. So in the song Smile, Jay-Z is talking about his mother, and that's another reason why I don't rock with him. I don't care if I'm from Bed-Stuy or not. I love his music. I love what he did for hip-hop, but I ain't with all of that. You know, but he's in the song, he's talking about he said in the song, he like, oh, I don't care if you what he said, I don't care if you a lesbian or if you like women, as long as you happy, I'm happy. That's what Jay-Z said in the song. So the song is about his mother being a lesbian and suppressing it and hiding it, and then now coming out of the closet years later, and now she's happy. So that's why it's called Smile. But in the video, he has the same actress that plays Fred Hampton's wife playing Jay-Z's gay mother in the video. So me personally, I don't think that's a coincidence, because we know how Hollywood is. Hollywood, you got, first of all, to get into Hollywood, you got to do something. You got to, all right, you might get in, but to reach a certain level, a certain status, you're going to have to do something. We saw it with Will Smith. Will Smith got men digging all in his booty hole. What was that movie? 6 Degrees of Separation. It wasn't until that movie that Will Smith, then he started doing all these other big blockbuster movies. Then he became the top paid actor at one point after he did that. Or you could talk about Easy, the men putting on dresses. You could talk about that. Look at Martin. Look how high Martin got. He's hilarious as hell, but he plays Shanae, you know? So we're going to cut this short because we got a lot of other things to talk about. But listen, fam, just go up there, look up Jay-Z Smile, use on YouTube, the music video. You're going to see the same actress playing a lesbian that's playing Fred Hampton. So I'm saying that to say, if you go in Barnes and Nobles or whatever bookstore you got, and you go in the Black Power section, look immediately next to the Black Power section. On the next bookshelf, I bet you see the LGBTQ book section. I bet you see that. Because they always try to tie the rainbow movement with the Black Power movement. And that's what they did with Judas and the Black Messiah. So this is what I'm telling y'all, family. Keep your head on a swivel. This new Marcus Garvey movie, I mean, I would love to see the ancestor. I actually think Winston Duke, like physically, would be a good choice to play Marcus Garvey. I don't know about his backstory. Some other people said he's in a relationship with somebody that's not black. I don't know about all of that. You know, if it's true, then that's messed up. But I'm just saying, family, they always try to tie it. It's a lot of subliminals everywhere. Keep your head on a swivel, family. That's all I'm trying to say. So yeah, Keisha, what we gonna move on to next?
Definitely, yo, that's powerful. That's powerful. And for those of you who want to give a comment, just let us know in the chat, and we'll drop the link so you can come on live. But we want to take a quick break and while we take this break, I want you to pay attention to everything that this sister says. Just a 2-minute clip, but I want you all to see Afeni Shakur. You know, these are the ancestors that they don't give an option to your children in public school to write about during Black History Month. So that's what we try to do. We try to give it to you over here. So let me see. Hold on one second, family. Here we go.
But the lawyers tried to make some motions to have the pigs removed from the courtroom, and the people brought in, and the fastest pigs refused to even hear the motion, because they recognize that it isn't the people's trial. The people play want to not being tried by their peer group, because Hogan and Mercer are our peer group, and they have no right to try us. They have no right to accuse us of anything, and I say like, if the people want me to go on trial, I'm ready to stand trial for the people. I feel like I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything, committed any crimes against the people. And if the people want to put me on trial, I say right on to them.
Sorry about that. But yes, the great Afeni Shakur, mother of Tupac Shakur, member of Black Liberation here in New York. Here in New York, and I always say New York is very key as far as Black intellectuals, Black liberation, Black wealth, and Black political power. New York is key in that, and that brings me back to what you said earlier, Ashe, that no matter what it is that we're doing, even in the public library, they try to tie the LGBTQ fight with the Black Power movement, with no regard to our culture, our way of life, and our perspective on things. And that just disturbs me that today you don't have a Black organization that will fight against these type of atrocities, because our conditions aren't the same. And right now you have the Asian community who are fighting for more legislation against crimes committed against Asians. However, I didn't see the Asian community come out when members of their own community beat and assault Black people here and on the continent. I don't see Asian politicians, if you will, to speak out against these type of atrocities. Everybody is quiet. But when somebody else cries wolf, you see everybody taking center stage. And these type of things disturb me. They really disturb me. I know that in past years we had organizations to stand up against all of that. But right now, I don't see anybody, and it's just a free for all. Like I said, everybody is stepping on the neck of Black suffering and clamoring for the top to get everything that they need, everything that they want. And if you all read this new stimulus package, there's something in there for everybody. Everybody. But there are some things that are taking place that you guys need to know about. But, what are your thoughts on Afeni Shakur, Brother Ashe?
Yeah, I mean, you can see where Tupac clearly got, his education and his inspiration to make a change for our people. You see it clearly from her. And I feel like we need a lot of our sisters to pay attention to the ones that came before, the ones that really, really were solid Africans that put in that real work. We need y'all to know their names. You know what I'm saying? Because the ones that are being spoon fed to y'all right now, it's literally it's just giving y'all like vanity. It's just making y'all aspire to really just like have individual success. But when you look at queens like Afeni Shakur, Asada, so on and so forth, you see people that literally sacrifice themselves. I mean, Afeni Shakur had Tupac from a prison cell. Asada was in prison and had to flee the damn country. She can't even come back to America. Even in Cuba, they still trying to catch her, putting billboards up for her in America here. So think about the sacrifices that these queens made in comparison to the people that get spoon-fed to y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's a big difference, family. And the ones that are real warriors, the ones that really are willing to put themselves on the line, they should be honored more. They should be the ones that we call their names and bring them to the forefront and we study them. Because it's not, I mean, oftentimes these people are not even household names. You don't even know. I go tell a child right now about Afeni Shakur, they not gonna know who that is. They don't even know who the damn Black Panthers are. If you say Black Panther to them, they think you're talking about Chadwick Boseman. You know what I'm
Or
saying?
it's the Black Messiah.
Exactly. So, and this is the thing, and that's why it's so dangerous with these films as well, because, you know, people want to sit back and say, like, oh, I'm gonna watch this movie. I want to see this. You know, I remember what it made me feel like. And I understand that totally. But to feel that same feeling, you know what I'm saying? You can literally get all of this information in books, in documentaries, in old newspaper articles. You can look up in the archives of Black newspapers when we had our own newspapers. You could get Black journalists. You can get real journalism that does not have an agenda to bring our people down. You could get the truth, the real facts. So the information is out there, family. It's just that we so used to like instant gratification that we have just unfortunately become lazy. You know, and this is the importance of studying and things of that nature.
True.
If you are not somebody that likes to study or read as much, at least just make sure you're getting your facts, your evidence from reputable sources. It shouldn't just be these movies, family. Like I said, the movies are cool for entertainment and to inspire you.
Mm-hmm.
They are very, very misleading, family. So, you know, with the Queen of Afeni Shakur, you know, more power to her, the whole family, all the descendants. We just got to keep making sure that
Shout out to Mo Preem.
breeding more warriors, because this can't be a thing of the past where it's like we got to pull up videos from the 90s and the 80s and things of that nature to show real warriors. Because now,
True.
the new generation, it's like it's getting watered down, more whitewashed to make more people feel comfortable, you know? And then ultimately, we're not even having a conversation about real revolution or insurrection or freedom. You know what I'm saying? We're just trying to make ourselves more comfortable in everything that they created. And we got to stop doing that. Right now, we are on the goddamn anniversary. Yesterday, March 3rd, was the anniversary of the Rodney King beating.
Yep.
So, family, we got to really like study what's going on and make sure that we are preparing ourselves, because these devils are out here preparing themselves, but they the aggressor. They preparing themselves to go to damn Capitol Hill and war with these people that they what they said, they got the military is out there. You know, they got the big weaponry out there now. They built a wall. I think they said the wall that they built is going to be permanent now. They built a permanent wall around Washington, D.C., or they're about to build it, one of the two. So they preparing. But us, we sitting back here on the anniversary of, yesterday was the anniversary of the Rodney King beating, and the same exact goddamn thing is happening.
Nothing's changing.
It's happening over and over. It's the same cycle. So how prepared are we? Are we preparing to not even riot, but to rebel properly? You know what I'm saying? And we shouldn't even be preparing to rebel, because that's a reactionary stance. We should be preparing ourselves and sitting back and analyzing the Rodney King beating and the things that happened and making sure that this thing cannot happen again. Because it's crazy what's going on right now. And our people, we just want to sit back. I mean, I'm not with complaining, you know, brother Ashe, I create solutions, but I'm just saying that March is also very pivotal for Black history. And I know a lot of people, you say, oh, February Black History Month is too short. All right, well, we're not Black History no more. We in March. So Ashe, I'm gonna give you some Black history now, right? And Keisha, we're gonna give you some Black history. We're gonna give you some Black women's history as well. But just make sure, family, that you know you are paying attention to the dates and the things that has happened in history. Every day I try to get up, do some kind of research and see like what happened in March this year or so and so years, you know what I'm saying? And also take notes of what's happening in the present time. You know what I'm saying? Because next year something might happen. You might be like, damn, wasn't we just here this last year, 5 years ago, the same thing? We need to be learning from our mistakes. We need to be upgrading ourselves. A lot of us is just comfortable with being on the same goddamn level. We need to upgrade. We're supposed to be better than we was last year, better than we was years ago. We're supposed to be better than our ancestors. Let's think about that. We always look to the ancestors for strength.
And still stuck.
If the ancestors could speak back to us, 99% of us don't know that they would tell us that we better and stronger than them. Because we come from them. So we the 2.0 version of them. We supposed to be learning every single thing that they did so we could be better. You know what I'm saying? And that's not no slight to the ancestors or the elders, because we honor them. We cherish them. But we have to be better in the state of Black history right now, in the state of everything that's going on with our people, over and over and over again. We got to put this stuff to an ending, family. So Rodney King being, Keisha, what you wanna talk about some more sisters and such, you know, because I know Tom is gonna fly.
Yeah, we're gonna go through it. We're going through it. It's funny you mentioned all of that, you know, because shout out to brother Haki Shakur. I love his YouTube channel as well. And I follow him on IG. Brother's always on it, always posting great historical facts for us to learn about. So again, shout out to him. But here, just last week, they had the commission on reparation. We mentioned that slightly last week. Now, this commission to study reparation took 34 years. 30 to study it. I sent Sheila Jackson Lee a clip of Queen Mother Moore and her stance on reparations. And then I sent her a clip of a family who's currently fighting and may be the first family to receive reparations. Minute as it is. So we're going to go through that as well. But here's a clip of Queen Mother Moore. Check this.
Benjamin Franklin said, those who seek temporary security rather than basic liberty deserve needs. Brothers have to understand that. But those who seek temporary security rather than basic liberty deserve needs. I'm demanding reparations. That's all I can see now. That's the answer for our people. And this document tells you why the man owes you reparations. Yeah, honey, you want reparations? Take it. This is reparations. This is how you've been injured. This is how you've been destroyed. You was changed from an African into a Negro. That you've been damaged. Injured. You took your name, took your color. I don't have my pretty black color like her. No, I want an Afro. I can't even wear one. The man I'm next to. You understand? Or maybe you don't. Maybe. I know your name is Jones or Johnson or Williams. Huh? And you know darn well that you have no business with English names. You don't think that's an injury. That's where your consciousness, that he knows your consciousness. You got to charge him for that too.
Wow. That's the elder.
That's in the 60s. In the 60s, she was saying, cut that check. In the 60s, cut that check. Even before then, because she was born in what, 1898? Member of the UNIA, died in, I think, 96 or 97. And Queen Mother Moore was on the front lines. Out of Louisiana, straight to where? Brooklyn, New York.
Mm-hmm.
New York is key in liberation. And to see where we're at now, that disturbs me. That's right, Sister Pat. Cut the damn check. Not have a study. Not have a study. Now, I want to show the family a clip here. If I can. Hold on, let me take this out. A clip here on a family who's actually fighting for reparations right now. And it is a minute amount of money. They're actually fighting against Georgetown University, because Georgetown University said that they want to offer an apology for slavery, and they are raising money to pay for reparations. At least that's what they said. But check this out. Check the hidden hand out right here.
Save the university from bankruptcy. Among those that were sold were my ancestors.
That university would not be here today had it not been for my grandparents.
That was a long time ago, but the effects of that are still felt today.
There are disproportionate negative outcomes for those who were descendants of slaves that can only be explained by the fact that this enslavement happened, reparation didn't happen, and now is the time.
In October, Georgetown University announced that they would raise $400,000 a year for the descendants of the 272 enslaved Americans that were sold to Louisiana. They said this money will be spent beginning in the fall of 2020.
My family might be making history in the United States.
I might become one of the first in the history of America to receive reparations.
Mechanicsville is the area that is heavily populated with Georgetown descendants, including myself, where I grew up. And Mechanicsville is less than a half a mile away from where the plantations were that where our ancestors were enslaved. I mean, you had people on very low income. Sometimes they didn't have any income. Some of us have done well if we were able to get out and get an education, and a lot of us haven't, and they could, really use some assistance or help.
We may be the first that receive some form of reparations for slavery. It may start with you.
Well, I think it would be a wonderful thing. Start out with me and let it continue on with everybody that who would be in need. There's so much I missed out on, but from the goodness of God, I'm still here. My mom, I will never forget, had one dress. She'd wash that dress out at night and hang it on the back of her chair to the fireplace to dry, to have it to put on the next day. And my mom, patches on top of patches.
So what do you think that, just maybe one thing you think that Georgetown should do?
Well, my house could be upgraded, for one thing.
In my community where I grew up, reparations would definitely help.
If I was given reparations, I would definitely set some of that money aside for my son's future.
My first thing is to get something for the elderly people.
I would feel that my ancestors are rejoicing in heaven.
It's $400,000.
For each family?
No. It's just $400,000 for over 7,000 people.
No, not much.
Do you think 400,000 come close to what we need as a people? So at 400,000. Okay, so the descendants that's living now, you put that at how many? About 8,000?
It's about 8,000. It's probably more.
Equal $50. It's a slap in the face, not just a slap in the face, that's a kick in the behind also.
Georgetown University is currently deciding how this money will be spent, but said it will go towards projects that support descendant communities.
I think Georgetown has such an opportunity here to take the lead on this.
I don't think they should go bankrupt, but $400,000 is not going to do it.
Someone in authority at Georgetown needs to come down and actually meet with each descendant and see what each descendant needs.
We don't need to make white people wrong. We don't need to make Georgetown wrong. We need to ask ourselves, what do we need to do to ensure that all of Americans have full access to every right that it means to be an American?
Here we go. I'm being nice with my people today.
Go ahead, brother Ashe.
No. I'm being nice. I'm being nice because we got too much black on black drama right now. But family, that video stressed me the hell out just now. Yo, that video just stressed me out, family. Especially,
Okay. So now they talk about a damn study. Are you crazy?
sis, it got worse and worse as the video progressed. So I'm just
Oh,
like, damn. But I love my people, man. So shout out to them for trying. You know what I'm saying? But yo, please, man. First of all, she said we don't need to make white people wrong. Family. How the hell we making white people wrong? Didn't they make themselves wrong when they enslaved, pillaged, raped, took everything that we had, our culture, our religion, our family, our private parts? We can't, yo. She said we don't need to make white people wrong. Family. Then God bless her soul. The elder says she want her house upgraded. Listen, family. Shout out to them, man. But listen, this is a prime example of why some black people, a lot of us, do not need to go on camera. We do not need to speak in front of people. You know how many times, Sister Keisha, I've seen local news, even the city news, pull up on people, maybe sometimes in my neighborhood too, because the 81st precinct is right there, and they take a lot of people to the 81st sometime when something crazy happened. And the news crew will be out there on the strip, and they will literally interview people. You know how many black people I see run into them damn cameras to get on camera, to be on the news, to embarrass the hell out of themselves, to say something foolish that they not even knowledgeable about the subject, but they just want to be on TV so they could say, oh, call their friends up and say, look, at 10 p.m., watch me on the news. But you don't think about the things that you're saying and the image that it presents to our people. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to come down too hard on them. You know, like they are trying to do something. But family, if we talking about one of the sister said she gonna put some of it aside for her child's future. Now, to the untrained eye, that might actually sound like an amazing thing to do. And it is coming from a good place with that sister. But to the trained eye, you would know that if it was reparations, real reparations, first of all, education will be free. Second of all, we will have our own goddamn schools and school system to regulate ourselves. So the sister want to have to, she talking about getting reparations to take some of that money to put it right back into these goddamn institutions. Because we don't own them goddamn colleges and universities. So you mean to tell me your reparations money is going to go right back to them? Right back to their colleges and universities, right back to the same people that gave it to us. And this is why the Dave Chappelle skit is relatable. You can understand it because a lot of our people, we don't know. So it's not like I'm saying, I'm not trying to like go hard on them because maybe they just don't understand how the system works. We don't even understand. Like the video you shared, I rewatched it. You shared it last week when you showed how the different families that run the world. You wouldn't even know that these large companies have other companies under their umbrella, and those other companies
subsidiaries
underneath them, subsidiaries, sister companies, things of that nature. And underneath that company is another company that you spend your money with. So you don't even know that when you go out and buy this product or this toilet tissue or whatever, you still supporting that company. So you don't even realize that your money is not circulating in the black community. And you're not repairing nothing that way. So these are the things that we need to understand before we get on microphones, on cameras and things of that nature and start talking about stuff when we really not on that level to be commenting on things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if I was there or Keisha was there, we would have told the family, like, look, first of all, America or white people, whatever you want to say, they don't even have enough to repay us. If they was to turn over everything that they had right now, everything, all of the skyscrapers, businesses, the stocks, Wall Street, if they turn all of that over, they would still be in debt to black people. They would still owe us. just like Haiti is still owing France and all of these other places that's still in debt. They would still owe us for reparations because we built this so much that think about all of the interest. Think about all of the way that things appreciate and things of that nature. If slavery and chattel slavery, all those things never happened, where would Black people be? How much money will we have? What will be our net worth? What will be even the average singular person's net worth? It will be so much money. That's why they can't give us reparations, because they don't even know how to calculate it. Then they ask us what would be reparations. And then what
they know how to calculate it. They know how to calculate it.
Yeah, when they ask
us exactly what the hell they owe us.
We get people like that get on camera and say, oh, well, I want my house upgraded. I want my child to go to school. You know, things like that. So we have to be very careful, family, about the things that we say we want. You know, we have to educate ourselves. And I'm not coming from no higher place, because I know I got a lot of learning to do and educate myself to do. But that's why you won't see Ashe on their damn news cameras. First of all, because I know the audience ain't exclusive for my people. So the agenda is not exclusive for my people. So I'm not even going to put my agenda on blast to all of the oppositions. You know what I'm saying? So it don't really make sense for me to go on their television news or their platform and things of that nature, unless I got a clear agenda that I'm pushing forth to speak to the audience that relates to me. You know, but unfortunately, this family got put out there, you know, and like I said, shout out to them because they are trying something. But those comments that they made in there, man, Keisha, really stressed me out, family. Like, we need to train. We need to train. You know, Khaled, Nation of Islam, a lot of people, like, they have proper propaganda. Even the Black Panthers, so many other revolutionary organizations back in the day. They have a section that literally trains you how to speak, what to say and what not to say. You see, even in the Judas and the Black Messiah movie, when they had the scene where in Chicago, when the Panthers went up to the other, I forgot the name, but they went up to the other revolutionary group and went in their headquarters to talk. And a lower ranking member spoke up in the meeting. They made him do 50 push-ups for discipline. Matter of fact, no, he went and slapped the dude. He said, you know better than that. Don't you ever speak while the head person in charge is speaking. That's discipline. We got to get trained on that. We got to get trained on how to speak when we're in public, what to say, what not to say. A lot of us need training when it comes to talking to these damn police, talking to the talking in court, representing yourselves, things of that nature. Because when we get in these situations, what happens is it's not until it's too late and we done got the talking. And now they see exactly what the agenda is. Now we done got ourselves in a situation that we can't get out of. So I don't even think them getting that reparation that they want is a good thing. Because even if good old Uncle Sam decides they want to give this family $400,000, which is nothing. Even if they get it and become the first Black person to get reparations, ask yourself, is that something to really be celebrated? $400,000. And now just for white people to walk around and say, oh, we gave y'all reparations, that's giving them a pass. Now you done gave them a pass to say, oh yeah, see, not all of us are bad. We gave you your $400,000. Meanwhile, $400,000 is just the icing, not even the icing on the cake. That's the crumbs off their table, because they done made so much interest and things of that nature off of the businesses that they done took from us, off of all of the natural resources that they took from us. They paid more than $400,000 in tax money. They donate 10% of their goddamn salary. If you a millionaire or a billionaire and you donate 10% of your salary, you think $400,000, they give that to charity. $400,000. And you know what? When they give $400,000 to charity, it's tax deductible. They get money off of donating charity. So you mean
that's right?
To fight for reparations for $400,000, family? Listen, this is not Fire God speaking. I'm trying to be very nice. I'm sick of our people beating our people up, family, but we got to do better. We got to educate ourselves. And if you don't know how, that's fine. But make sure you surround yourself with somebody that knows something that could speak for you or properly represent you. Because every time you go out in public, you got to remember that you are representing us. My fault for being on.
You know, and go back to what Sister Farnessa said. Shout out to her. But she said this is why they won't put Baba Claude Anderson on camera. They know he'll lay it all out. And they can't tell me they don't have it. They got it. Black people, first of all, should not be paying taxes at all. Because we have no legal or political representation in this country. And that is in the Constitution. Taxation without representation. We are clear case of that. Now, this latest stimulus package, just to go through some things quickly, you got $300 million for migrant and refugee assistance, $10,000 per person for student loan bailout, $100 million for NASA, $20 million for UPS, $300 million for the Endowments Association, another $300 million for an endowment on humanities, $15 million for veteran employment training, $435 million on mental health support, $30 million for the Department of Education Stabilization Fund, $200 million for safe schools and emergency violence programs, $300 million for broadcasting. I mean, I could go down a list. Another $7.5 million for the Smithsonian, $35 million for the JFK Center. Another $25 million to boost the salaries of the House of Representatives that you all voted for. That's just some things in the stimulus package. And I can go on and on and on. So don't tell me they ain't got no damn money. They got money. The problem is they're not going to give it to us because there is no or else factor. When you demand something from someone, you have to have an or else factor. If I say, you want to give me my $50, I'm going to smack the hell out of you. That's the or else factor. We out here begging somebody to give us something. That's not how you do it.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. And you know what I've been saying too, Keisha? I said it on the show. I'll say it again. It's messed up, but America will get their reparations before black people. Ain't that something? America got their reparations before black people. Because if you think about it, this whole stimulus thing is created for what? To repair the economy. That's what the whole stimulus package is for. Mind you, this is not the first stimulus we got. So America got more than one reparation already, and black people still waiting around for ours. It's crazy, family. We not gonna get it, family. If you waiting for them to give it to us, the only reparations the black man and the black woman is gonna have is repairing ourselves, repairing our families, first repairing our goddamn selves. Because a lot of us, we look African and we European up here in the mind. So repair that mind, repair that spirit, family. That's reparations. You got to sit down, meditate. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all do some yoga. I don't know what you got to do, family. Get your crystals, your sage, something. But we got to start repairing our goddamn selves, family, because some of us is just mental-sided, you know? But then after that, yeah, of course we got to repair our finances. So when you said last week on the show that family said, you said you went to somewhere and they said they don't want cash reparations. They don't want their reparation in cash. What you wanted in Monopoly money? What I'm trying to figure out what the hell you want your reparations in? Because I want whatever I could get. I'm taking every goddamn thing. I'm taking the last piece of bread and vegan cheese out their goddamn fridge. I want everything. I want everything these devils got. So you telling me you don't want no cash? All right, I'll take your cash. Just leave your cash to me. I'll put it in a safe place. Mm-hmm. We gotta repair ourselves, family, and the only way you really gonna get some reparations, I'm scared. I'm sorry to say, I know a lot of y'all scared, but it gotta be taken in blood, family. Even these damn white people, the ones that's rioting right now, the ones that are talking about taking the White House again, they even know that. They even know that revolution and what they calling it. They say it's an insurrection against the White House and the president right now. They know that's gonna be in blood. They ain't go out there with no peaceful protests. And mind you, we're not even talking about white people dying. We're not talking about white people dying the way black people die, and they talk about, oh, go out there and march peacefully. The white people went out there with guns, weapons. They went there and broke the goddamn government buildings, broke the glass on the government buildings, broke the door, ransacked, went into their property, trespassed, put their feet on the desk. None of that was nonviolent, but they'll tell you, when your brother die, your sister die, go out there and be peaceful. Make sure you have a peaceful protest. Nothing has changed from a goddamn peaceful protest, family. Peaceful protest has not gotten us anywhere. And I'm not inciting violence, but I'm just saying facts is facts. History shows. Somebody shared a picture the other day. It had Martin Luther King had his head down like this with the devil on top of him, pushing his head down, fighting Martin Luther. I never saw that picture before. He got his head down. He was about to hit the floor. I'm like, damn, they did that to the ancestor. Like, you know what I'm saying? So this peaceful stuff, man, listen, if you want reparations, when somebody tell me reparations, I'm like, what are you willing to do for it? That's what I want to know. What are you willing to do to get your reparations? Now we talking, family. Now this is some bush knowledge right here that we talking about. We can't talk about this in front of your white friends and your white co-workers and stuff like that. We got to go to the bush. Shout out to Ashraf, Baba Ashraf Kwesi said this is bush knowledge. Back in the days, the enslaved Africans, they couldn't talk about it in front of master. They had to go to the bush to have these conversations. Haiti resurrection, they went to the bush to plan everything out. So what are you willing to do to get your reparations? You know, if we were to ask that family, I'm scared to hear the answer, you know? I don't know what the answer would be because they already gave the answer. She said, oh, well, we don't have to make white people wrong. That don't even make sense. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we on the anniversary of the Rodney King beating yesterday, March 3rd. So we should all be in that spirit. Be in the spirit of that black man that was brutalized horribly. You could look at the image, look it up if you never saw his face all slatted, broken, and come on, family. If that's not enough to get y'all mad, to get y'all riled up to say this not gonna happen to my little brother or my son or my daughter or nothing like that, I don't know what else is, family. Honestly.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But, you know, as things ramp up, along with that, like I said, no matter what we have, no matter what we achieve, we have to have a mechanism to protect it. And so, if you remember, family, a few weeks ago, when I told you about the UNIA, how they were armed, they protected themselves. They wasn't out here kneeling saying, hands up, don't shoot. Shout out to Dr. Filet in the chat. I'm definitely going to send you that clip. I know you would want to see that of Queen Mother Moore. So I'm definitely going to get you that. But sticking with Queen Mother Moore, check out this clip of Brother Ashe and see what she says about protecting yourselves.
Speak to us and prevented him from coming to speak to us one night. We, of course, went in delegations and everything and raised such a ruckus that they had to let Marcus Garvey speak to us the next night. But when we went, I want you to hear me. When we went determined that nothing would stop Marcus Garvey from speaking to us. Now, how do you do that? How do you go determined to keep the powers that be from preventing your leader from speaking to you? How do you do that? Well, I'll tell you how we did it. Every one of us, including myself, on me.
Right.
I had one in my bosom and one in my pocketbook.
Okay.
Low 30-inch special. Pearl handle. I'll never forget my little pearl handle gun. You think you're bad, huh? Some of you think you're bad. We went, brothers and sisters, do you think we went there with a round of ammunition? No, we went with handbags of ammunition. Everybody had handbags of ammunition.
We used to call them satchels.
Satchels.
Ammunition. Now, when the police came in, they found in our home, and they lined up along the sides.
Yeah. Oh man.
She said they went armed. They had satchels of arms. And you can't tell people who are not protected that they can't protect themselves. You can't tell people that. You can't. In Kansas, just reading the other day, now they're going to allow or trying to make it so where 18 and 20-year-olds can now conceal their firearms. You can have them now in Kansas, but now they're trying to make it where you can conceal all your firearms. Meanwhile, we have an FBI who tells us that police departments have been infiltrated by these white organizations, these white supremacist groups. You have the FBI telling us that the biggest terroristic threat right now is homegrown terrorists. As Ashe said, you can't be out there begging. They wasn't saying hands up, don't shoot. So exactly, whose history are you learning and whose ancestors are you following? Who are your heroes? Where you get them from? You understand, Ashe?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Right there. The Queen Mother Moore. I think I got a picture of her and Winnie Mandela.
She said she had 2 guns. She had one in her bosom and one in her purse.
2.
I know that one in the bosom might have been a little funky, but it still worked. It still worked, I'll tell you that.
Here's a picture of her and Winnie Mandela.
Wow.
That's power right there. Now, how is it that we are comfortable in ourselves that we remain silent even now? Like, you can't just go on with life and not have a rebellious bone in your body. When I saw this picture, I said, I gotta have this joint.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta have this right here. I know Dr. Filet gonna want a copy too. I got you. I got you.
Yeah.
So I hope the viewers, you all can understand, what's going on here. What's really happening. And before we move on any further, I want to send our best to our warrior, scholar, educator, and freedom fighter, Mumia Abu-Jamal. And things are not looking good, healthy for him. If you can, go to our Facebook page so that you can get the information where you can call the prison when he is held, because this brother needs to be removed from there. All of these people, when they watch these movies like Judas and the Black Messiah, or as you said, that's coming out, Mark Man. We watch these films over and over. We know what happened to Brother Malcolm. And at the same time, we do nothing to get our brothers and sisters home like Mumia Abu-Jamal. Knowing that the case itself had no legs to stand on. Knowing that here is a man who is an elder. You have streets named after him in France. Shout out to Pam Africa. We can't get this brother home. You mean all of the black politicians that we have in Congress and in Senate can't get together to get Mumia home? But you want to pass legislation for recent attacks on Asian Americans. How come everybody get to jump the line here? How come everybody get to jump the line? So that disturbed me. But
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that clip, brother Ashe?
Man, that's one ancestor that I love to my heart right there, man. And I ain't gonna front. I need to do some more reading and studying up on Queen Mother more, man, because she was very instrumental, very powerful, especially during that time, like Keisha said, back in the days, man, like UNIA doing the work with them, and UNIA is still functioning too, so shout out to them, everybody that's holding that down. But Queen Mother Moore is something special, man. She's a real warrior queen. Not enough, like I said earlier, not enough young sisters are being taught about her. They definitely ain't teaching about no Queen Mother Moore in school. They definitely ain't teaching you about her, but I bet you these little girls out here know about Kamala Harris and Michelle Obama and definitely know about Beyonce. They definitely know about some goddamn Beyonce. They know all the dances and the lyrics to the songs and all of that. But ask them who Queen Mother Moore is. They don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, Keisha, another Queen Mother or elder that has put in some work for us that I wanted to speak on too. We are actually on the anniversary. Like I said, March is a powerful month. Every month for us is history. It's Black history, even today in the present. So don't think at all, just because Ashe was like champion, Carter G. Woodson and, all of the work that he did creating Black History Week, Negro History Week, Black History Month, I'm just balancing it out because I hear a lot of conversations, people saying, oh, I don't do Black History Month. I'm Black History all year. That's cool, but Black History Month was created for us. White people didn't give us that. But what I'm saying is, even outside of February, we in March now. It's a lot of history. We should be studying up on it. Right now, besides Rodney King, we also upon the anniversary of a very, very famous woman who decided to not give up her seat on the bus. One of the women that was very powerful in inspiring the whole bus boycott in Montgomery, Alabama. She said, I'm not giving up my seat to these white devils that want me to get up. Now, the reason I'm putting on a show like this is because all of y'all think I'm talking about Rosa Parks. But I ain't talking about no Rosa Parks. I'm talking about the first woman that said that I'm not getting up and giving up my seat on a bus to go sit in the back of the bus so some white person could sit in my seat. I'm talking about none other than Claudette Colvin, who was the person 9 months before Rosa Parks gave up her seat on the bus. Claudette Colvin said I wasn't giving my seat up. She said, I'm not getting up so these devils could sit down in my seat. She said, I'm tired. Now, mind you, Claudette Colvin was a teenager. She was a youth. So when a lot of y'all say, oh, the youth ain't doing nothing, listen.
That's right. She was 15.
We had some powerful youth back then. I'm talking about the culture, the Black power culture, the loving ourselves, our natural selves. That was so prominent in culture everywhere that you could go talk to a random person on the street and they'd be down. You didn't have to have a little section like this or come on Thorough Black Talk or go on Facebook or wherever you got your little community within a whole greater Black community to find revolutionaries. You didn't have to do that. People was hip. People was down. You know what I'm saying? But this young girl, Claudette Colvin, 15, it happened on March 2nd. Today's the 4th, right? March 2nd, 9 months before Rosa Parks, she said, I'm not getting up. Now, the reason y'all don't know about Claudette Colvin, unfortunately, like I said, she was a teenager when it happened, but it wasn't just because she was a teenager. one of the main reasons why y'all didn't hear about Claudette Colvin was because the people like in the civil rights era, they didn't think that she would be a good choice to champion the civil rights era, even though what she did was extremely noble. They didn't think she was a good fit for them to use Claudette Colvin and push it to fight for civil rights. Because one, Claudette Colvin was a teenager, like I said, but for two, she was pregnant. So that was one of the other reasons why she said, I'm not giving up my goddamn seat for no white person. And for three, they said that Claudette Colvin, she actually didn't have quote unquote good hair. They said she didn't have good hair and she wasn't fair skinned like Rosa Parks. Claudette Colvin's own mother said, you know what? Let Rosa Parks take it. Let her do it. Because she said white people like her. White people like Rosa Parks. So all of these liberals, they had liberals back then. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. These liberal devils, if you want to call them that. If you could have a liberal devil, then I don't know. You could keep them. I don't want them. I don't want no liberal devil, but the liberals back then, they actually liked Rosa Parks. So Claudette Colvin said, let her take it because the people were saying that. Matter of fact, Rosa Parks herself was quoted. I wrote it down. They quoted it. This is what Rosa Parks said about Claudette Colvin. She said, if the white press got a hold of that information, talking about Claudette Colvin being pregnant, being a teenager, they would, this is what Rosa Parks said. She said, if white press got a hold of that information, they would have a field day. They'd call her a bad girl and her case wouldn't have had a chance. This is what Rosa Parks said about Claudette Colvin, because Claudette was a teenager, she was pregnant, and then they said, the media said she didn't have good hair, she wasn't fair skinned like Rosa Parks. So Rosa Parks, you know, she was the more marketable civil rights person. And it's a shame, you know, but that's what they had to do back in the days to get the momentum. That's what they did. So that's why Rosa Parks is a household name and Claudette Colvin isn't. But she was the first one to actually say, I am not giving up my seat on the bus. You know, so I just wanted to give honor and respect where it's Claudette Colvin. If you didn't know,
she live in the Bronx.
Go look it up. She lives in the Bronx.
She live in the Bronx too.
Wow. Crazy. She lives in
the Bronx now. Told you, New York is key. New York is key. Oh, Sister Joyce says, thank you. I'll have to call her tonight and let her know she was thought about tonight on the show. That's right. Give her a shout out from me too, Sister Joyce. She's here in New York, for those who wanted to know.
Yeah.
But even before that, Ashe, you had Elizabeth Jennings, 100 years before that.
Ooh.
So check out this clip real fast. Hold on.
100 years before Rosa, there was Elizabeth Jennings. In 1854, a teacher named Elizabeth Jennings refused to give up her seat on a streetcar. The streetcar belonged to a company named Third Avenue Railroad. This particular streetcar sometimes had a sign showing that black people are allowed to ride. Back then, the only streetcars black folks were allowed to ride were the ones that had the acceptance sign. If they didn't have the sign, that meant it was for white only. So Elizabeth gets on, and the conductor asked her to leave. Then the conductor changed his mind and said, okay, but if any white passengers get on, you must get off. Elizabeth's response was, I am a respectable person born and raised in New York. I have never been insulted before while on my way to church. You are a good-for-nothing, impudent fellow for insulting decent persons while on their way to church. The conductor got physical with her, and she yelled at him and told him not to lay his hands on her. The conductor dragged her off of the streetcar, and she climbed back on. A police officer came over and helped the conductor. Elizabeth was bruised up and dirty from the scuffle. When Elizabeth returned home, she notified her father. Her father's name was Thomas Jennings. Thomas Jennings worked directly with Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass was his homeboy. So they decided to go to the papers. Thomas knew that Frederick Douglass would have been able to pull some strings to get the word out. Thomas Jennings was a very successful and prominent individual. They wrote about Elizabeth's situation in the New York Daily Tribune. And then they hired a young lawyer by the name of Chester Arthur, who would go on to be the vice president under James Garfield. They took the case to court and they won. Elizabeth won over $250. Today's earning, it'll be roughly around $10,000. So let's salute Miss Jennings. This was 100 years before Rosa.
Wow. So the spirit of Elizabeth Jennings was in Claudette, Rosa, and all of these other sisters that's out here fighting for us, man. That's great. Thank you for sharing that, Keisha. Oh, you on mute.
New York is key. You know, I keep saying that. New York is key. And that's why we got to turn things around here in this city, because once we do that, everybody else will fall in line. We really got to get our stuff together here in New York City for real. You know, I want everybody who didn't know about Elizabeth Jennings, you know, research and get some information on her. You know, she lived in Seneca Village, which was a Black Wall Street of that time. Now it's Central Park. You know, she wasn't nothing to play with, and neither was her father, as the brother mentioned in the clip a little bit about her father. So when you get a chance, family, research Claudette Colvin and Elizabeth Jennings. I believe Sister Pat said she moved from the Bronx. Okay. And Sister Joyce said, yeah, she moved from the Bronx. But she says, what about the 5 other women who was on that lawsuit? She no longer lives in the Bronx. She went back to her home state. Yes, the 5 other women. You know, there were so many, and you have to, again, like you said, Brother Ashe, why do they select certain folks? You know, but believe it or not, Rosa Parks' father was no joke either. He was nothing to play with either. So it's funny, you know, them selecting her to be someone we should look to, and we should, you know, not taking anything away from her, because, you know, that was monumental, and she lost a lot.
Yep.
I think she died working as a janitor or something like that. So that's also something we should look at too. We got to protect those who fight for us. And we often don't do that. King died poor too. King died poor. And so for those of you who have businesses, it's your responsibility. You know, we should have a legal defense fund for those who are fighting. I think you sent out something last week, Brother Ashe, but we covered here on this program a couple of months ago the money that was given to Lives Matter and their subsidiaries, because they have subsidiaries too. You know, where's that money at? We need a Black legal defense fund.
Yep.
I want to know where that bread at. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. So again, family, we're going to keep moving it right along. Things are happening in the news. during the height of the COVID epidemic or pandemic or whatever y'all want to call it, people around the country and around the globe were saying Governor Cuomo looks presidential.
Yep.
He looks presidential. And we reported here the shenanigans of the Cuomo family right here on Thorough Black Talk before all of this kicked off. We told y'all what type of person he was, especially with what he did to the Freedom Party. I still ain't finished with that. I want my bread. But anyway, now he's in the news. What is it? Number 3 have come out of sexual harassment or inappropriate touching, and then fudging the numbers with the dead in these nursing homes at the height of COVID. Not just that, but playing around with MTA money. We said it right here, Brother Ashe. We said it right here. The Cuomo family and their shenanigans. We went through his daddy and his siblings. We went through it here. And now, where is all of these people who were saying, he looks so regal, so presidential? Where your commentator now? Where your commentary? I don't hear nothing. As a matter of fact, where is Tish James, who made it her business to come down on the R. Kellys and your Harvey Weinsteins and your Jeffrey Epsteins? Why are you turning a blind eye? There should be a special prosecutor. Go ahead.
What's interesting to me, right? Because we reported this on our show. When the pandemic hit, and we were seeing all of these cases about these Hasidic Jews, right? And they didn't want to wear masks. They were still outside having their, whatever you want to call it, their outdoor synagogues and funerals where they had parades practically in the middle of the street, no cars, just walking in the middle of the street. These Hasidic Jews, no mask on, none of them, social distancing or nothing. Nobody got held accountable for that. Governor Cuomo was trying to put the pressure on them. He was telling them that they were going to start fining them and things of that nature. They had right around the corner from my house, I didn't even know, this warehouse building that I never see people coming in and out of. Apparently, it was actually like a school for these Hasidic Jews. And they shut it down because they was in there with no mask on, we had the children and all of that, right? But anyway, Cuomo was saying he was going to bring the pressure down on it. Right after that, you started hearing about all of this stuff that's going on. Now you're hearing about Cuomo, how he responds to the what you said, Keisha, the what he was covering up with the numbers, with the deaths in the nursing homes. Now
the numbers up.
Now that's coming out, right? Now, after that, after he done messed with them Hasidics, now you hear about one woman coming out talking about he inappropriately touched her. Then the second woman coming out talking about years ago he said something crazy and touched her. Now it's 3 women. 3 women. Now the thing that's interesting to me, right, is of course you see that when you mess with these people that have power, they can bring stuff down. They make it crumble for you. But that's not the interesting part to me because we already know, at least us to the trained eye, we already know how these Hasidics operate. What's interesting to me is the whole time before he started saying that he was going to crack down on the Jews, the Hasidic Jews, nobody was talking about how Cuomo was doing sexual harassment. Nobody was talking about covering up in a nursing home. Cuomo was spick and span to the point where they was talking about if this didn't come out, he was going to run for president. Let's just say that. He was going to run for president. So that's why I tell our listening audience that's not in New York, that's why we're talking about Cuomo right now, because it pertains to all of us. He was going to run for president. And he was spick and span. And some people actually really like Cuomo because of the way he handled the pandemic. Before the story came out about him playing with the numbers of the deaths, covering up the deaths in the nursing homes. Before that happened, A lot of people thought Cuomo was doing a really good job with the pandemic, and he was going to use that momentum to propel his presidential candidacy. So my thing that's interesting to me is, how come nobody wasn't talking about this before? It's not that overnight, after he messed with the Hasidic Jews and started putting pressure on them, that he became a bad person. No, what the real cause of it, what the real interesting thing is, his ass been a devil, and they've been covering it up the whole goddamn time. That's what's interesting to me. Because first of all, the women that came out, some of them, they said it happened years ago. They just now feel comfortable to come out. Why? Because Cuomo's losing power, because these Hasidics said, oh, you want to mess with our synagogues? You want to mess with us when we trying to have our funerals and things of that nature? You want to tell us that you're going to shut us down because we not social distancing? They just had an article, I don't know what airline it was, if it was American Airlines or JetBlue or something. It was a family of like 8 Hasidics on a plane, and they didn't want to, none of them had on masks on an airplane with other people. And then they try to flip it on the airline and tell people that, oh, the airline kicked them off the plane because their 2-year-old baby didn't have on a mask. No, the airline responded and said 8 people, including adults, were told numerous times to put on their mask, and they refused to. So then they got escorted off the plane. So these Hasidics, they feel that they are above the law. And we know they pull strings. They got the Star of David on the dollar bill. We know what they do. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it's interesting that this whole time, so that shows you that they can do whatever they freaking feel like they want to do. They can let you rise to the top, or they can pull you down. You know what I'm saying? Because they covered it up for years and years and years. All the dirt that Cuomo been doing. How many other sexual harassment cases out there of people, women that never claimed that he did it, even though he did? They never came to the forefront. Now, why do you think they're comfortable now? Because now they already, the blood has been drawn. The sharks smell the blood. The first bite has been taken. Now, once they smell the blood, they see the weakness. They're like, okay, now is a good time, because the powers that be have came out and said, look, your time is up. We bringing you down now. Ain't nothing you could do about it. So now these other women feel comfortable. But before, they wasn't comfortable coming out against Cuomo because they know that he was powerful. They know he's the governor. They know he has strings. They know he was about to be running for president. Never know what that could have led up to. So this is a powerful person, so they didn't want to speak up. But this shows you how many cover-ups is happening right now. How many people in politics and places, positions of power and things of that nature are straight dirty devils, and they just covering it up, throwing it over. Even the video that Keisha showed last week, they had so many people that was associated with the Bush family back in the days when, you know, not like it changed, but when Bush was in the height of his presidency, they was calling him, oh, they had the devil pitchforks in George Bush. It's like everybody forgot about George Bush being the devil now, right? Because he was the literal devil. He was the actual physical devil. Not according to us, to white people was even saying that George Bush was the devil. How come you don't hear about that no more? George Bush is where is George W. Bush? Where is he? Nobody don't know. He's just in the background on some island that he bought, chilling, relaxing. And you know what? That's going to be the same exact goddamn thing that's going to happen to Cuomo. He's not going down. He might come out of being a governor if that happens, because he said he's not resigning. He said that today. He said, I'm not resigning. He said, he tried to play that, pull the wool over the people's eyes and say, let all of the facts come out before you make a decision. That's what Cuomo's saying right now. He said, let them do an independent investigation. I am for women, and I believe all women should come out and speak up when they have been, you know, victims of sexual harassment or abuse or whatever. So he trying to flip the script, pull the wool over your eyes now. So this is what Cuomo is doing. So I wouldn't be surprised if no legal action is taken against him, if all of this is handled under the table, payoffs are made, and then Cuomo may not be able to get the presidency anymore. He may not be able to run for president. He might still, because we've seen what happened with Hillary Clinton with the Clinton Foundation and all of that came out.
There was accusations against Biden too. There were accusations.
Exactly. They still ran. They still ran for president. Even Biden won. Hillary ran multiple times after all of this dirt that's been her and her husband and their organization.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wouldn't be surprised if Cuomo still ran. But even if he don't, I bet you, this Ashe talking, I bet you he gonna be chilling in the background, just like George Bush, on the new Epstein Island. Because you think that that island was the only island that existed? You think the Epstein Island is finished? You think that? Nah, they got an Epstein continent. They got a country, Epstein. Epsteinia. That's what they call the country name. God damn it. They chilling on the island somewhere with their feet in the sand. That's what Cuomo gonna do. He's just gonna pull some strings from the background. Everybody's gonna forget about it. We even our black people do that with R. Kelly. We make so many goddamn excuses. People still playing his music to this day. Even, I ain't even gonna go there, but no, I'm going there. Even one of the elders try to get on our platform and say that black women need to go light and be easy on R. Kelly because he didn't do it. I'm like, oh my God. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, man, like if we give up so many excuses and passes to people, if that's how we rocking, then the ops, the real enemy, they know they ain't got to give us no damn reparations because we ain't going to do nothing to get it. We just going to keep giving passes. Oh, it's not, we don't have to make them wrong. It's not about making them wrong. It's just about making us get our houses rebuilt. Go ahead, Keisha.
That too, you know, it's funny because when Governor Patterson was in office here in New York, it was Governor Cuomo who talked about former Governor Patterson's sexual indiscretions in his supposed closet in his office and stupid stuff like that. It's funny how the tables have turned now, but I love it. I love it. But I want our family for next week to do a little bit of research on the money makers here in this country. Like your Warren Buffetts, your Elon Musks, the Bushes, if you will. Why are they spending so much money for two things? One, to go to the moon, and two, these cyber bunkers. What do you need a cyber bunker for? It costs like almost $1 million for a cyber bunker. I don't know if you all ever heard of them, but I'm going to play a little clip in a minute, but I want our people to understand exactly what's happening. You know, they'll tell you to go on about your business. You know, we're taking care of everything. Go on and do, you know, what your normal activities. You know, just vote your way out of the conditions that you're in. We continuously vote. We aren't getting any justice. Constantly begging a system that gives you injustice to give you justice. It's psychotic to me. But, you know, what do they all see coming down the pipe? Because I want to know. I just have questions. Why they doing stuff like this? These cyber bunkers and stuff like that. And they'll say on Thorough Black Talk we conspiracy theorists and a whole bunch of nonsense. But I want y'all to check this out real quick.
Worried about a post-apocalyptic future, then you should save up your money to buy a cyber house. It's the ultimate abode for surviving a zombie apocalypse. What you see before your eyes is the state-of-the-art cyber house. It's a technological wonder and emergency shelter. It has sharp angular lines like the Cybertruck and features 3 distinct levels. The main level is the living area, the terrace level is for growing food, and the lower level is a safety bunker. It's still just a concept, but it could cost $865,000. Are you ready for a tour of Cyberhouse? Follow me inside for a sneak peek of this amazing abode. Let's take a look at the exterior of Cyberhouse before we venture inside. The innovative dwelling is the brainchild of Russian architect Alex Wazewski, and we expect Elon Musk himself would love to live in this futuristic home. The 7,500 square foot Cyberhouse is impenetrable thanks to steel and concrete walls, armored windows, metallic blinds, and military-grade airlock doors. Elon Musk would have no problem buying a Cyberhouse, as $865,000 is chump change to him. A fully decked out and upgraded Cyberhouse will cost over $1 million, and the steel and concrete will cost at least $70,000. Hop in your Cybertruck and let's take a tour of Cyberhouse. As you drive through the garage doors, you enter the first of 3 levels. The main level of Cyberhouse is the living area. This is where you'll try to relax and take your mind off the post-apocalyptic wasteland that surrounds you. Cyberhouse offers 3,230 square feet of living space. The concrete walls are incredibly thick, which increases the total square footage of the complex considerably. There may be nothing but desert for miles and miles, but at least you'll be cozy and safe inside Cyberhouse. Park your $40,000 Cybertruck on the platform elevator in the center of the building, and let's take a look around. Okay, on the west side of the main level, you'll notice 3 bedrooms. Each bedroom comes with its own adjoining bathroom and can comfortably fit 2 people. Cyberhouse is designed to house 10 people max, but things will feel much less cramped with only 8 people. Just throwing that option out there. The east side of the main level is much the same, but this side of Cyberhouse only has 2 bedrooms instead of 3. Each bedroom on this side also has an adjoining bathroom, and between the 2 bedrooms, you'll find a large communal bathroom. This bathroom also has a door that leads to the outer perimeter of Cyberhouse, as well as a decontamination shower. If radiation reaches extreme levels, that's scary, you can enter directly into the decontamination shower. Cyberhouse will fully protect you from a nuclear attack. The north side of the main level is where you'll find the atrium. It may be the apocalypse, but you still need to keep up your spirits. The kitchen and dining area is located on the west side of the atrium, and the lounge area is on the east side. Maybe a game of Monopoly will help you and your flatmates forget about the wasteland outside. Or maybe it'll remind you how the financial markets collapsed during the final days of civilization. We're such a ray of sunshine over here, aren't we? Hop back in your Cybertruck and let's take a look at the lower level. The platform elevator will descend directly into the bunker. You will never have to leave your heavily armored Cybertruck, which adds an extra level of security. The bunker level is your lifeline in case things get really bad outside. Look over to the west side of the bunker and you'll find a secure room filled with emergency food and medical supplies. Inside, you'll find canned goods and freeze-dried foods. Emergency rations for 10 people will cost you about $5,000. However, that food will only last you and your crew 90 days. Once you run out, you'll have to hop back in your Cybertruck and go out hunting for rabbits and deer. Delicious. If you're desperate, there are plenty of insects in the desert. Emergency food is expensive, but medical supplies will cost a lot more. The supply room is also packed with insulin, first aid supplies, and vaccines. These medical supplies cost more than Cyberhouse itself, but you have to be prepared. Look over to the east side of the bunker. You'll find the generator room on the southeast side of the lower level. Cyberhouse needs backup power in case the solar panels on the roof die or the windmills are taken out during a freak lightning storm. Powering Cyberhouse is extremely expensive. Each of 3 windmills that supply power to Cyberhouse will cost between $1.3 and $2.3 million. You might be wondering what that room is on the northeast side of the bunker. That's the security room, and it's filled with high-tech computers and monitors which are connected to security cameras strategically placed around Cyberhouse's exterior. It's time to get back in your Cybertruck and head up to the top level of Cyberhouse. The top level of Cyberhouse is the terrace. This is where you and your crew can grow fresh vegetables and herbs. The rooftop garden features a water filtration system that pumps clean water for your produce. And there are lounge chairs on each side of the terrace where you can relax and soak up some sun. Every inch of the roof is covered in Tesla solar panels, which is one of the reasons why Cyberhouse is so expensive. Solar panels for a typical home cost $43,590. Cyberhouse is 5 times the size of a typical American home, so the solar panels could cost $220,000 or more. The roof of Cyberhouse slides open, which means you can sit by the giant fireplace on the terrace and enjoy the desert stars at night. What
What do they need these things for? Why is it that a lot of these money men, if you will, your Elon Musk and your Warren Buffett selling off large amounts of stocks, those of us who invest, has been bleeding in these market stocks these past couple of weeks. But what is all of this for? Next week, we're going to get into it. If you don't want to know about it, Find out about these cyber bunkers. Next week, we going in. I'm going to tell you what it's for. You think the purge is a joke? I told y'all before, check out that movie, Bushwick. It's on Netflix, I think. Check out Bushwick. That's even worse than the purge. You think these are just entertainment movies? Sadly, you're mistaken. Sadly, you're mistaken. And now you have, like I said, the FBI releasing that the number one terroristic threat in this country right now is homegrown terrorists. Storms on the Capitol. What do you think these cyber bunkers are for? And I just think about that family, $400,000 in reparations. You can't even buy one of these. But I'm going to get off my soapbox as we coming to the end, Brother Ashe SJ. Your final thoughts.
Yeah, that video was something else, man. And you know, time and time again, we see things and hear things like this that's that advanced. They preparing for warfare, Holocaust, like goddamn bombs dropping. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and even with the hotel, when I read the article, they said that's coming out 2027, the first hotel in space. So I'm thinking what's interesting to me is that 2027 is 6 years from now. So that's right around the corner. So if they can create a hotel in space that'll be open and functional in 6 years, do you think that the first thing they created in space was a hotel? Do you think that they would create a hotel for people to go for entertainment purposes and vacation in space? And that'll be the first thing that they're going to announce to the world that they created? You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, fam, we got to just keep your head on a swivel, family. But anyway, you know, we give you the information always from a centered, African-centered perspective. But we got a lot of things we got to get situated right now on this planet. You know what I'm saying? Before we can even entertain thinking about going in space or the next astral projection and crystals. I know how some of y'all get. I know how y'all get. So we ain't trying to take you too far. We're going to bring you right back. You know, but we keep it thorough up here. So always remember, family, it's your brother Ashe SJ. True courage is knowing how to suffer. The battlefield is where you stand. Always keep it thorough, family. Peace. Sister Keisha.
Again, family, thank you for tuning in and joining us for another episode of Thorough Black Talk. We'll see you black next week. Always be strong. Keep your head on the swivel. Be anti-shenanigans. And get ready for what we're going to bring you next week. Tell somebody to tune in and check us out. We'll see y'all on the other side. We out, y'all.